Her jasmine scent wraps around him, a forbidden pulse that lures him deeper into her dangerous dance. Her jasmine scent clung to me, a forbidden pulse that refused to fade. I stumbled into the penthouse, the city's glow a faint tease beyond the velvet curtains, Sophia's presence still burning my skin. I'm Ryan Caldwell, 25, a photographer trapped in the silken web of Sophia Langston, a 34-year-old art curator whose every glance seared my soul. Last night's gallery moment. Her crimson dress teasing her thigh, her whispers coiling around my heart, played in a relentless loop, stoking a fire of guilt and desire. Her father, Mr. Langston, had nearly caught us, his sharp eyes cutting through the shadows, his voice a growl that shook my nerves. The penthouse, once a haven of art, was now a crucible, her perfume in every corner, her mirrors reflecting my shame, her soft moans a phantom in the walls. I couldn't sleep, my nights a torment of restless heat, my body aching for her while my conscience screamed to flee. My late mother's voice, her warnings about temptation, clashed with Sophia's brazen allure, her vitality drowning my grief in a hunger that pulsed through my veins. Her texts were a siren's call, each word dripping with heat. They scorched my phone, pulling me deeper. Your hands still burn on me. Come back, Ryan. I'm waiting, stirring my hardness with every syllable. I dodged her for days, my resolve fraying. But her presence was inescapable, her silhouette in the hallway, her hips swaying as she passed, her laughter a sultry echo in my dreams. Mr. Langston sensed my unease, his concern a blade in my chest. What's wrong, Ryan? He asked over coffee, his eyes narrowing, his voice rough with suspicion. I lied, muttering about deadlines, my hands trembling. While Sophia watched from the kitchen, her silk blouse clinging to her curves, the faint outline of her sensitive peaks teasing me as she leaned to pour wine, her foot brushing my ankle, a deliberate stroke that sent heat racing through my loins. Everything all right, darling? She purred to her father, her voice a velvet trap, her gaze flicking to me with a promise of forbidden ecstasy, her lips parting in a silent dare. The penthouse itself conspired against me, its walls alive with her allure. Her lace shawl draped over a chair, the soft rustle of silk as she moved, her perfume clinging to my jacket, each a tease that fueled my fantasies. I replayed the gallery, her dress slipping to reveal her thigh, her gasps as she leaned into me, her hand guiding mine to her waist, each memory a dagger of lust and shame. Mr. Langston's questions grew sharper, his late night pacing a sign of his distrust, his clenched jaw a warning of the storm to come. Yet Sophia's smiles turned predatory, her touches bolder, her body a lure I couldn't escape, her whispers promising a plunge into a forbidden abyss. I caved after 3 agonizing days, the gallery key a burning weight in my pocket, its edge digging into my palm as I drove through the rain-slicked streets. The penthouse loomed, a beacon of temptation, the air thick with anticipation as I climbed the stairs, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm. Her silhouette in the doorway stole my breath, a promise of ecstasy. The door creaked open, revealing Sophia in a sheer black gown, the fabric clinging to her curves like a lover's touch, translucent enough to outline her sensitive peaks, her nipples hardening under my gaze. I knew you'd come, she purred, her voice a velvet caress that stroked my soul, pulling me inside with a gentle tug on my collar. Her hand slid to my chest, fingers tracing my racing heart, her touch igniting a fire that spread downward. Daniel, her art dealer, lounged on a chaise, his shirt unbuttoned to reveal a sculpted chest, his smirk taunting me with a challenge. Back for more, Ryan, he drawled, his eyes raking over my tense form, assessing the bulge straining against my jeans. Sophia pressed her body against mine, her bosom heaving, the gown stretching to accentuate her quivering curves, her hand sliding to my waist, fingers teasing the edge of my arousal with a slow, deliberate stroke. Her whisper was a flame, licking at my resolve. He wants to watch, she murmured, her lips brushing my ear, her breath a hot invitation that weakened my knees. I tensed, my hardness betraying me, a throbbing pulse that echoed her touch, as Daniel leaned back, his eyes dark with approval, his presence a voyeuristic thrill. She guided my hand to her thigh, her heat searing my palm, her skin slick with sweat, her moans soft as she ground her hips against me in a slow, sensual rhythm. "Feel my forbidden heat," she gasped, her fingers tracing my bulge with a possessive intent, her nails grazing the fabric with a tease that drove me wild. The room spun with her scent, jasmine mixed with the musk of her arousal, her gown shifting to reveal the shadow of her intimate lace, a tantalizing promise that pulled me deeper. She leaned closer, her lips hovering near mine, her breath mingling in a dance of desire, her tongue flicking the air with a silent plea. Her body became a rhythm, a dance of forbidden passion. "Touch me deeper," she murmured, her hand guiding mine upward, the lace yielding to my trembling fingers, her body arching, a soft moan escaping her lips that fueled my hunger. Daniel watched, his smirk widening, his hand resting on his own arousal, a silent encouragement that pushed me further into her trap. The room transformed as Sophia danced, shedding the gown with a slow, deliberate motion, the fabric sliding down her curves to leave only lace panties, her skin glistening with sweat, her movements hypnotic. She pulled Daniel close, her lips brushing his neck with a soft moan, her bosom pressing against his chest, then turned to me, her hand on my chest, her fingers tracing my racing heart. "Both of you," she demanded, her voice a commanding whisper that stirred my loins, her eyes locking on mine with a promise of ecstasy. Her touch was a chain, binding me to her will. I hesitated, but her fingers unzipped me with a deft touch, her hand igniting my hardened length with a slow, sensual stroke that sent shivers up my spine. Daniel joined, his hands on her hips, guiding her movements with a possessive ease, their moans filling the air as she ground against him, her hips swaying with a rhythm that echoed in my ears. She guided us together, her body a bridge of lust, her gasps a symphony of pleasure that drowned my resistance. The mirror reflected our tangled forms, her lace-clad heat, my tense arousal, Daniel's confident grip, a tableau of forbidden passion that pulsed with every breath. She leaned back, pulling me closer, her lips hovering near mine, her breath hot and ragged. "Dance with us," she whispered, her tongue teasing the air, and I let my hands slide to her waist, feeling the heat of her skin, the tremble of her curves. Her moans were a melody, drawing me deeper into the abyss. Daniel moved behind her, his hands roaming her hips, his breath on her neck, their bodies syncing in a sensual rhythm that drew me in. She guided my hand to her thigh, her lace yielding to my touch, her intimate heat radiating through the fabric, her moan a reward that fueled my hunger. "Feel me," she gasped, her fingers intertwining with mine, sliding upward, teasing the edge of her forbidden zone with a slow deliberation that made her tremble. The dance intensified, her body arching between us, her lace shifting to reveal more of her intimate contours, her gasps growing louder as Daniel's hands explored her curves. I pressed closer, my arousal throbbing against her hip, her scent enveloping me, a heady mix of spice and desire. The mirror captured every movement, her quivering form, my tense desire, Daniel's commanding presence, a visual symphony of lust that pushed me to the brink. Her lips grazed mine, a near kiss that set me ablaze. "Take me further," she whispered, leaving me teetering on the edge of surrender. The climax neared when Daniel's phone rang, a shrill intrusion that shattered the erotic haze, pulling him from her embrace with a reluctant groan. Sophia panted, her sweat-slicked body pressing against me, her lace-clad heat rubbing against my thigh with a desperate rhythm. "Stay with me," she begged, her lips on my neck, her hand stroking my arousal with a possessive grip that made my breath hitch. The door creaked, a shadow loomed, and Mr. Langston's voice cut through the passion like a blade. "Sophia?" Panic seized me, my heart pounding against my ribs. She shoved me behind a screen, her gown falling to the floor in a silken cascade, her nakedness a shield as she stood, her curves exposed to the dim light, her skin glistening with the aftermath of our dance. Her voice was a lie, smooth as silk, hiding our sin. "Just a client, father," she lied, her voice steady despite the flush on her cheeks, her eyes darting to me with a silent plea thick with desire, her body trembling with unspent need. I hid, my breath shallow, my body pressed against the cold wall, the key burning in my pocket, her naked promise lingering in the air like a tangible force. The floorboards creaked. Mr. Langston's steps grew closer, his silhouette filling the doorway, his voice a low growl laced with suspicion. "What's going on here?" he demanded, his tone cutting through the silence, his eyes narrowing as they scanned the room. Sophia stepped forward, her hands raised in a placating gesture, her nakedness a distraction that held his gaze, her hips swaying with a deliberate grace. "Just a late-night discussion, darling," she cooed, her voice a delicate weave of deception, her body a lure to divert his attention. His eyes searched the shadows, hunting for my guilt. I held my breath, my arousal still pulsing, my mind racing with the possibility of discovery. The silence stretched, a taut wire ready to snap, as Mr. Langston's eyes shifted past her, searching where I hid. My heart thudded, the key's edge digging into my palm, a reminder of the choice I faced: flee and preserve what was left of my honor, or stay and surrender to the abyss of her desire. The door creaked again, a sound that echoed with impending doom, and I caught a glimpse of his hand on the knob, his knuckles white with tension. Sophia moved closer to him, her voice softening, her naked form a shield that trembled with anticipation. "Let's talk outside," she suggested, her hand on his arm, her eyes flicking back to me with a promise of continuation. The tension mounted, a storm brewing in the air, as Mr. Langston hesitated, his gaze lingering on the rumpled chaise, the scattered petals, the faint shimmer of her perfume that hung like a confession. My body ached with unfulfilled need, the memory of her touch searing my skin, her whisper, "Take me further," echoing in my ears. The door began to close, but a sudden thud, perhaps a dropped glass, froze us all. Mr. Langston turned, his eyes locking on the shadow of my foot, and I knew the moment of truth was upon me. Would he find us? Or would Sophia's seduction save me once more, her naked truth a barrier between us and the inevitable confrontation? Wow, what a steamy cliffhanger. Will Sophia and Ryan escape her father's wrath, or will their forbidden heat be exposed? Like, subscribe, and hit that bell to catch episode 6 on June 26th. Your support means everything to our small channel. Let's grow this spicy story together.